monster.
Hey guys, Klunga here, and today I have for you guys a quick essential guide to crews and crew skills. We're going to be talking about which crew skills you should take first on your vehicles, and what they do and why. And now, of course, this is all opinionated. This is just what I choose to put on my vehicles. And the crew I've chosen for you guys is the crew I have in my bog tier. This is also my IS4 crew. These are the essential crew skills I think you need to get on every single crew first before you put it in any of your more competitive vehicles. Obviously, it's all preferential. Maybe you don't need these crew skills, or maybe you don't want these, but these are the ones I recommend the most. And they are, of course, Sixth Sense, Repairs, and Brothers in Arms. Now, the order I would get them are the order you see here: Sixth Sense, Repairs, and then Brothers in Arms. Honestly, getting tracked and not being able to put your tracks up in, what is it, 12 seconds, I think is how long it takes when you don't have repairs, is pretty ridiculous, and you can get permatracked even by things like an IS7, and that's something you really don't want to have happen to you. Now, Sixth Sense, definitely, my opinion, the most important skill in the game. Some people don't think so because, you know, you get targeted and it tells you, but this game is all about knowledge, and Sixth Sense just gives you a little bit more knowledge. You know, it lets you know, okay, I'm spotted if I go here, so I know somebody must be there, or I know how far away I need to be from people to shoot. And this just teaches you a lot. It teaches you, this skill itself will teach you a lot about view range. It teaches you about the game, really, because you learn about when you get spotted. You learn about double bushing because of this, or going behind a bush because of this, and all sorts of things. It teaches you what bushes work, what bushes don't, and this skill, even if you're in a heavy tank, it just teaches you knowledge, even if you don't think you need it. I would definitely recommend Sixth Sense as your first skill. Now, if you're willing to fork over 10 gold, because this is actually a perk, not a skill. The difference between a perk and a skill is a skill develops, while a perk only finishes when it's 100%. Therefore, Sixth Sense will only activate once you have your crew at 100% with it. Meanwhile, a skill, which is repairs, develops as the crew trains, so it gets faster and faster every time you use it. So if you're willing to fork over 10 gold, what I would recommend you do first is start training up repairs. Once you finish repairs, just select it, and you can swap it out with gold for Sixth Sense. And then I would retrain repairs, and then once you finish that, if you're willing to fork over 10 gold again, swap it over to Brothers in Arms, and then train up repairs again. Now, the reason I think these three are the most important is because, like I said, Sixth Sense is knowledge. Repairs, of course, keeps you from being immobilized, which is huge in this game. Being immobilized is not a good thing. And then Brothers in Arms, which just increases your tank by 5% in all aspects. It's just, this is an essential crew skill, perk should I say, that you want on all of your tanks, because it just increases everything by 5%. Now, once you get those three, it's all about what tank you're playing. If you're not too sure, my next essential tank, which I like to reference for you guys, is my Centurion Action X. I think I have what's in there, a perfect crew in my own opinion, except I do have a couple more crew skills. And that would be, let's get to it. Here we go. That would be Sixth Sense, Brothers in Arms, Repairs. Like I said, these are the first three. And then Situation Awareness and Recon to get your view range up by 5%. See, this adds 3%. This adds 2%. So, this is these are very important. These are both skills. Therefore, they train as you play. They don't have to be 100% to work. All right. So if you have your skill at 30%, it will increase your view range by 1%. So this is very important. These things right here, because being blind is no good. It's this game. See first, shoot first is another essential thing. And then the other two skills which I like to use. Oops, where'd they go? On pretty much all my tanks are Smooth Ride and Snapshot, because this keeps your circle smaller. Improves accuracy during turret rotation by 7.5. Now, which one do you get first, Snapshot or Smooth Ride? I got Smooth Ride first, but I would recommend Snapshot, because Snapshot, your turret is turning whether you're moving or standing still. Meanwhile, Smooth Ride only works when you're standing still, and it only decreases accuracy by 4%, or increases accuracy by 4%. This one increases accuracy by 7.5. So not only is this keep your circle smaller, it also keeps your circle smaller even while moving, because it's when the turret's turning. So that's definitely essential. And so these 7 skills, in my opinion, make a perfect crew. You've got maximum gun handling, maximum view range, maximum DPM, and Snapshot and Smooth Ride, because it keeps your circle smaller, it also makes it so you aim faster, and aiming decreases DPM. So these also increase your damage per minute because you don't have to stop and aim as long, and sometimes you don't even have to stop at all. So this also keeps you alive more when you want to snap shots in instead of letting them aim at you. Hence the name Snapshot. Um, and so these really work on any tank. Snapshot, Smooth Ride, you know, just get them on your tanks. Maybe not so much turretless tank destroyers, you probably don't need these, or even turreted tank destroyers, you probably don't need these, because you're gonna kind of be playing more that campy role, that supporting role. But maybe a tank like an E4 um, will benefit from these very much. And then from there, you want to know, okay, how am I going to be playing my tank? Now, in my Action X, I used to run food. So because I used to run food, I decided to go with firefighting to make sure the fire gets put out faster, and of course preventive maintenance, just to make sure I don't get set on fire as much. Now I'm still training preventive maintenance just because I have an automatic fire extinguisher, and that will save me 20,000 credits anytime I would have gotten set on fire. So it's actually saving me money to have preventive maintenance. Now, as you can see, this is a perk because it has lightning bolt, so it's only in effect once I finally master it. Meanwhile, firefighting is a skill, so it gets better and better the more you play it until it's completely mastered. So these are things you want to look into. We're going to look at some more crews which I've built manually, just to show you what I'm talking about. This was one of my first crews. I had no idea what I was doing. As you can see, Eagle Eye was my first crew skill, and no, you don't really want that. But we're going to be looking at some of these. This is another essential crew in my own opinion. This one I went with, it looks like I went with Situational Awareness before I went with Brothers in Arms. I guess just because I didn't want to get out spotted, so that's a little bit interesting. But yeah, you got all these crew skills and such. Now this is the Hull and Hound. This is also my Leopard 1 crew. And so we're going to be taking a look at this guy because, once again, I'm going to show you exactly how I built it. I got Brothers in Arms first and then Sixth Sense, which is a little bit interesting. And because this is going to be a very camoed crew, I went with Green Thumb and then Repairs. It's not something I would recommend. This is also an early crew. I think I did a lot of swapping things out. I don't know what this one was before. This was probably Eagle Eye way back in the day, and I swapped it out for Green Thumb. And you're going to see why. I'm building off of the strengths. Then I have Snapshot and Camouflage. I'm trying to get this tank as camoed up as possible just so it can outperform other tanks and outspot like Pattons and Bat Jets. That's very important, so that's why I have all these camo perks. Silent Driving, Situational Awareness. What I would have done if I were to do this differently, I would have done the three Brothers in Arms, Sixth Sense, Repairs, first three right off the bat, and then I probably would have gone for Camouflage next because I think Camouflage adds 5% camo, and then I would have done Situational Awareness, which is 3%, and then Recon. And then I would have done Snapshot, and then maybe some Silent Driving, and so on and so forth. But as you can see, we've got Eagle Eye as well. This is a good one to choose late game. I would say once you have the crew skills you think will benefit your tank the most, go ahead and add on Eagle Eye. It's a very, once again, this is a knowledge perk. This is a knowledge perk. It gives you knowledge. And remember, knowledge is key in this game. It enables you to detect damage modules, or identifies what they say, critically damaged modules on a targeted vehicle. So, in other words, if you look at a tank, you can say, oh, that guy's ammo racked. I'm able to shoot him twice for every one time he shoots me, or 3 times. Or it's an E100, so I can shoot him 4 or 5 times before he shoots back if I'm in, you know, like a T62A or something like that. So really amplify your tank. Because if you think about it, once you get, you know, those 3 essential crew skills, you've played your tank probably 100 times, right? So you know what its weaknesses are. So build off of that. You know what its strengths are. If you want to make a strength even stronger, like I did with this tank, this is my Leopard crew. It's got decent view range and camo, right? So I buffed its camo and view range. I actually buffed its strengths instead of buffing its weaknesses. So that's something you can build off of. And so that's, of course, all up to you. This is my E50 crew. E50M crew. And so we're going to take a quick look at him. As you can see, what's the big strength of the E50M? Well, its ability to ram, so I amplified that by throwing on controlled impact, you know. What's a weakness? It's its turning speed, so I got clutch braking and off-road driving. See, I'm buffing its weaknesses and buffing its strengths. That's what I'm doing. And then I got Situational Awareness, and because I ram a lot, I get tracked a lot, so I threw on Track Mechanic. And then I noticed I kept getting ammo racked in the side, so I threw on Safe Stowage. And then I wanted to amplify its gun handling, so I threw on Smooth Ride. And then I was noticing I was getting low on health, and I wanted to try Adrenalin. This was just a try. I tried Adrenalin Rush, and it's been great fun. Every time I have less than 10% health, my reload gets buffed. So these are things you can do. And then because I'm ramming a lot, I actually decided to drop a med kit and go with 2 repair kits and a fire extinguisher. And so I threw on Jack of all trades just because of I was just so if I lost a crew member. So these are things you can do. So keep these in mind. And like I said, the most important skill in my opinion is Sixth Sense. And then I would do repairs and Brothers in Arms. Get those 3. Those 3 are essential on all your tanks. And then build off of it. See, this is another one. This is Carl Craft, I think is what his name is. And as you can see, first 3 skills. Of course, this one is a free one with Sixth Sense. Whoops, where'd it go? Sixth Sense, repairs, Brothers in Arms, and then I'm building off of the tank. This is my E75 crew. It does not have very good gun handling, so I went with Snapshot first, and then I'm going to go Situational Awareness just so I don't need coded optics. And so yeah, like I said, just build off your tank. So let's talk about a new crew, hey? And then I'll tell you what I'll probably do with it. Let's talk about our Tiger 1. This is our Tiger 1 crew. And right now, all I have is Sixth Sense. Right now, Deadeye is training because this was my Panzer 1C, and he had an autocannon, and this increases damage modules, the chance by 3%, and so you get a lot more fires and stuff. But when I get 10 gold, I'll be swapping that out for repairs for sure, and then I'll be getting Brothers in Arms. And then this is a Tiger, and I think it has 380 view range, but okay, so this tank does not take a vertical stabilizer. So what I will probably do is once I get the 3 essentials, I'll probably throw on, where is it? Snapshot, because it cannot take a vertical stabilizer. Throw on Snapshot, and this will help, you know, by 7.5. It's not the 20% like a vertical stabilizer, but it will be something. I'll throw that on. And then because it has 380 view range, I will probably be throwing on I won't actually be throwing on Situational Awareness and Recon yet. The reason is because this tank doesn't take a vertical stabilizer, I will be using coded optics. Therefore, I won't need Situational Awareness or Recon. I mean, I'll definitely get it at some point just to make sure I have the 445 view range, but it won't be as important as getting that gun handling down, so I'll probably throw Smooth Ride next. And then I get ammo racked a lot, so I need to think about that. So I'll probably be throwing on Safe Stowage, probably as my 5th or 6th skill. Then once I get that, what I'll probably do is get Clutch Braking just so that I turn fast enough. Then, this is just pretending I get this many crew skills. I probably won't. I mean, this crew will probably actually get stacked by then, but I'm probably going to play the Tiger until it's 3 marked. So I'll maybe get repairs by the time that's done. But then from there, I'll probably get Situational Awareness. I probably won't ever bother with Recon, because with the optics, it'll be fine. I'll probably get Track Mechanic at some point, increase repair tracks by 20%, you know. So yeah, this is things. Another crew skill, which is great, like I said, is of course Eagle Eye, which is fantastic because it's a knowledge skill, of course. And then another one I've been finding, which is pretty fun, which of course is Deadeye, which you can see is training now. The reason is because, like I said, it adds a 3% chance to do critical damage. So in other words, you have better chance. You throw this, you have better chance, you know, to hit an ammo rack, because I think it's a 30 or 33% chance if you hit where an ammo rack is that you'll actually damage it. So this will just make it, you know, like a 36% chance. So this really helps. And it really helps with tanks with high calibers too, like an E4. You ammo rack a lot more IS-7s. So that's pretty interesting. And then another good one, pretty much in all tanks, if you want to, you know, if you have a lot of crew skills, you don't know really what to do next. Another good one is Designated Target. Makes targeted enemy vehicles visible for 2 more seconds. You don't realize how good this skill actually is, or this perk actually is. I've been using it on light tanks, and when we spot each other at the same time, all I need to do is target him, you know, like request fire on him, and then when we drive off away from each other, I notice my Sixth Sense disappears, but he's still spotted for 2 more seconds, and it's key to being able to throw off the enemy, because they're still spotted for 2 more seconds, and you're not, and you're able to change direction. And once again, this just allows you to outplay players, and so that's something I would definitely recommend right there. And then of course Safe Stowage is a good one. Just getting ammo racked is annoying. And then Adrenalin Rush I've been enjoying a whole lot. Adrenalin Rush, when you're in those situations where you've just been knocked down so low on health, because if you're playing World of Tanks, you all know those situations where you just get hit real hard and right at the beginning or something like that, and then you're just low on health and you really don't want to play anymore. It's just like, oh, I don't really want to play this anymore, I'm so low on health, what am I going to do? But when you have Adrenaline Rush, it makes the game, in my opinion, a little bit more fun, because now you're like, wow, I have so much more DPM. What can I do to go use this DPM? So It's like, wow. So it's, you know, this rewards you for playing poorly. You know, okay, you played really poorly, but here, have some Adrenalin Rush. You know, have a better DPM. And so that's pretty fun. Intuition is pretty useless. Yeah, let's talk about things I wouldn't get if I were you. Mentor provides a 10% XP bonus. Um, a lot of people like this. I personally don't think this is useful until you get about 12 crew skills or so. And then you should be willing to swap it out. Because at first, the crew skills are pretty easy to get. 10% is not a big difference. That's one extra game every 10 games you play, right? Of crew training. What I usually do with Mentor is when there's some kind of op going on, some kind of event where you get extra experience, like when they had the, what was it? For Halloween, they had like this huge crew bonus event going on, and the Hull and Hound makes like 50% extra crew and 20% extra experience, or 15% extra experience, and I had like some ×6 crew boosts. I threw this on because then that's another 10% on anything I make, and I was able to smash crews, and like I trained up a bunch of German crews with this skill. And then once I was done, once the grind was done, I took it out. So, you know, it's good for that. But I definitely wouldn't invest in it until the later game when it takes forever, and then be willing to use 10 gold to take it out. Another one which I probably would never ever recommend you ever get is signal boosting. It extends the signal range. And so we're going to clarify something. Some people think signal range is render distance, where you can see a tank when they're spotted. No, render distance is for everyone. Everyone has the same render. It's like 560 meters approximately, and that's just the draw distance. That's as far as you can see for the game to render it in for you. This just increases your signal range, and that just means if somebody is outside your signal range on your team, you won't see them on your minimap. And when they attention sector, you won't see it. You'll only see it if they're in your signal range, and it's or somebody else's signal range that you're in their signal range with. So it's pretty useless. Like you can get away with only having 300 signal range signal range, because as long as you're connecting to somebody who's connecting to somebody else with their radios, you'll be fine. So this is something I definitely wouldn't ever recommend. Call for Vengeance. This is kind of one of those things where it's good for the team. It really is. Because especially if you're a Suicide Scout, this is great if you're a Suicide Scout. So once again, if you're not a Suicide Scout and you're playing, you know, smart, this isn't really necessary. This makes it so that when you die, your commander survives for 2 more seconds, or your radio operator survives for 2 more seconds and reports enemy positions. I guess it can be nice. It might be a good late game perk, but definitely not early game. I wouldn't recommend ever getting it unless you just have so much. Same thing with relaying. I don't know why it's so much worse. Look, this one adds 20%. This one only adds 10. Okay, so that's interesting, but I wouldn't ever recommend these 3. Okay, you don't need these 3. French maintenance, smooth ride, clutch braking, off-road. These are all good. This one's a fun one for ramming. Other than, I'd get it super heavies. It's fun, just bumping people. I have it on the mouse, and you just bump people, and it just devastates them. It's hilarious. Paratrooping. I wouldn't get this, personally, unless you know, late game, T100 LT, you have a lot of crew skills, you don't know what to get next. Maybe get this, otherwise, I wouldn't ever recommend it. Silent driving's good. Don't get this on light tanks. It doesn't work on light tanks. So, if you have a light tank, don't get silent driving. Track mechanics good, snapshot's good. Designated targets great for light tanks. Light tanks and medium tanks, this works really well. In fact, it works really on any tank. All you have to do is target an enemy, and they're spotted for 2 more seconds. So, armor is a decent one. It's not one I would recommend, once again, to late game, or if your gun keeps getting broken. So, tanks like the hull down tanks that you get hull down with, this can work, because I notice when I'm hull down in like a T29 or a Chieftain, I get my gun broken a lot because people aim at the center of your turret and they break your gun a lot. So this might work on tanks like that. Like I said, this skill, or this is a skill I would recommend. This is one of those where just use your own discretion. Once you've gotten your 3 essential skills, if you notice your gun breaks a lot, go ahead and throw it on. But otherwise, I wouldn't really recommend it. You have a repair kit for that. Muffled shot is great for tank destroyers. Safe stowage is great for German tanks and British tanks, and it's really good for Chinese because they get ammo-wrecked a lot. Adrenalin Rush, this is a great one to have some fun with if you've, fixed, when you get punished early on. Intuition, I would never get Intuition. I don't see need for it until it's about late game, because if you're going to go for a reload, you're probably not going to be around enemy tanks anyway, so this one's, I don't know why you would ever swap ammo out. when you're fighting somebody, you know, so this one's not really useful at all. And then we had swimming lessons, and this one is a very debated one. I love it on my light tanks. It's not really that useful unless you're going to be going for some bold plays across water, which I do. I know some boosts across water, which you could only get with swimming lessons, and I'll probably make a video on that sometime. But if you don't know those, this is a pretty useless one. But I enjoy it. I put it on all my light tanks now, and I really have some fun. But otherwise, I think we've covered them all. And yeah, I think, like I said, there are 7 in my own opinion. 7. There are 3 essential ones that you need on all of them, and then there are 7 which I like getting on all my tanks because it increases your damage per minute and view range, and it's these 7 right here. Of course, it's 6 cents. Oh, we gotta click on it so it doesn't disappear. 6 cents, repairs, brothers and arms. All right, those 3. Then situational awareness, snapshot, recon, and smooth ride. Of course, get them in any order you think necessary. I would recommend 6 cents, repairs, bros, and arms. I think that's the first 3 in that order. And then the other 4, which I think will work great on every tank because it increases your view range and increases your quote-unquote DPM, because, you know, aiming reduces DPM. I would definitely recommend snapshot and smooth ride. It just, like I said, depends. Would you rather have the view range, or would you rather have the snapping ability? I say if you're in a heavy tank, you know, get snapshot first. If you're in a light tank, get situational awareness first. If you're a medium tank, just get, by that time, like I said, you've probably played 100 games or so, just get what you feel works best, which probably view range is the better one, just because view range is view range. Unless, of course, you have optics on something like a patent. You probably won't need situational or recon yet. But yeah, there they are. And here's my best crew, and I think we're going to be pulling this crew out for you guys. Not in this video. I think I will save it for another video because this is pretty long already. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I know there was no gameplay in this, but I just wanted to do this because I wanted to give you guys my take on crew skills. I've had some questions in the comment sections before about crew skills, and I just watched a Klaus Kellerman video about crew skills, and I said, you know what? I need to do my own. So here it is, crew skills. This is what I think. Of course, this is all opinionated, but I strongly recommend those first 3. And yeah, I'll probably have those first 3 in a thumbnail anyway. And yeah, and then we're gonna pull out our best crew, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys, and peace out.